Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to your Sun Conjunct Uranus prediction for the 12 zodiac signs. Please remember that I do Western astrology, tropical zodiac. The conjunction between the Sun and Uranus is happening on May 13 at 3 p.m. Mountain Time, so please make sure to adjust it to your time zone, but it's happening at 23 degrees and 6 minutes in the sign of Taurus. And this can talk about sudden changes, sudden opportunities, sudden people that we may meet in our lives, depending where we have Taurus in. So without further ado, let's just start with the 12 zodiac signs. Hello dear Aries, Aries suns, moons and risings. Welcome to your Sun Conjunct Uranus astrology prediction. Please remember that I do Western astrology and tropical zodiac. This conjunction between the Sun and Uranus is happening on May 13 at 3 p.m. Mountain Time, so please make sure to adjust it to your time zone. But for you, Aries, this is happening in your second house. This conjunction happens pretty often, once a year. However, what is so special about it is that it's activating again that Jupiter-Uranus conjunction point, which happened at 22 degrees in the sign of Taurus. So now the Sun coming together with Uranus is reactivating it, and it's kind of sealing the opportunities, the sudden changes that you may experience in your life with this conjunction. As this is happening in your second house, this conjunction can talk about sudden opportunities for you to increase your income, to get a promotion, to increase your streams of income, to get money from multiple resources so that you can have more money, more cash flow for yourself. For others of you, Aries, this conjunction can talk about a sudden expense that you have to make. And for others of you, the second house represents the self-worth, self-confidence. So for a lot of you, Aries, this conjunction can talk about a sudden opportunity, a sudden understanding of your self-worth, of the talents and skills that you have as a person, to be able to love yourself more and feel more comfortable in your own skin. And this should happen in a sudden way, to where there is some type of situation, some circumstance that makes you realize your self-worth and how much you value as a person. The Sun rules your fifth house, so this can also, again, talk about some kind of financial windfall, since the fifth house rules earning money, but through luck, through gambling and earning by chance. So for a few of you, Aries, you may have a sudden opportunity to increase your income through luck and chances. For others of you, this can talk about increased self-confidence when it comes to your creativity, your artistic abilities, and maybe for a lot of you, Aries, you may have felt a bit insecure about some of your talents. And so with this conjunction, you suddenly understand and suddenly embrace your ability that you have with a certain creative endeavor or artistic skill that you may have, and you kind of embrace it and accept its authenticity, originality also. That is because Uranus is a planet that talks about independence and authenticity and accepting yourself when you are different from other people. And so for a lot of you, Aries, with this conjunction, you may accept the skills and talents and artistic abilities that you have for yourself, and why not take a different approach associated with them. The fifth house is also the house of children, so for a lot of you, Aries, you may spend some money for your children, or it could be that they spend some money for you, or it could be the other way around, to where they give you money, they provide for you, if you have that happening in your life. Uranus rules your 11th house, so again, we have that connection between the 2nd, the 5th, and the 11th house, which are all financial houses. So for a lot of you, Aries, I see some opportunities to increase your income, to make more money, and for a few of you, you might also need to make some type of expense, some type of payment that you might need to make that is kind of unexpected. But overall speaking, I feel like this is going to talk about more of an increased income. The 11th house is also the house of long-term dreams and goals. So for a lot of you Aries, you may achieve some goal that you may have had associated with your finances, with how much money you're making, but also with your self-worth and your self-confidence. The 11th house is also the house of acquaintances and friends. So for some of you Aries, with this conjunction on the 13th, you may have an opportunity to earn money and cash flow through your friends, through your acquaintances, and for some of you through social media also, because the 11th house rules the masses. But generally speaking, I really like this conjunction between the Sun and Uranus on the 13th. It's also receiving a sextile from Saturn at a wider degree, and also from Neptune from a wider degree. So I feel like, it's going to be an incredible conjunction that could bring some sudden opportunities, especially for you Aries in the financial side of your life. If you liked and resonated with this video, Aries, please remember to give it a like and to subscribe. Hello, dear Taurus, Taurus suns, moons, and risings. Welcome to your Sun conjunct Uranus prediction for the 12 zodiac signs. For you, this conjunction, Tauruses, is happening in your first house. But before I get into the prediction, please remember that I do Western astrology and tropical zodiac. This conjunction is happening on May 13 at 3 p.m. Mountain Time, so please make sure to adjust it to your time zone. But as I mentioned, for you Tauruses, this is happening in your first house, which talks about sudden opportunities to increase your self-worth, to strengthen your self-identity, your personality, and maybe to come across to other people in a different way, more authentic and more original. I feel like for a lot of you Tauruses, you are being more loud, quote unquote, about who you are as a person and what you identify with. The first house is an angular house. So for a lot of you Tauruses, you may have the sudden opportunity to maybe move because this triggers the fourth house. Maybe you might have the opportunity to meet somebody new, to create a partnership, or to start fresh, or to have some sudden change with a current partner. And for others of you, you may have sudden opportunities when it comes to your career and public reputation. With this conjunction between the Sun and Uranus, we have the activation of that Jupiter-Uranus conjunction that happened in April at 21 and 22 degrees of Taurus. So this is quite powerful. The Sun and Uranus meet every year together, but this time they're meeting in that point that reactivates the great conjunction that we had in April, which again talks about wonderful opportunities for a lot of you Tauruses to embrace your authenticity, to love yourself for who you are, and to also express yourself in the most raw and original way. The Sun rules your fourth house. So for a lot of you Tauruses, I feel like you will have some sudden changes when it comes to your home environment, home dynamics. Maybe some of you will change apartments, homes, cities, in a sudden way, unexpected way. For others of you, it could be that somebody moves out of your home environment, somebody moves in, or you just move in with a partner maybe to live together. For others of you, this may talk about sudden changes when it comes to your real estate and properties in a way that it also changes your identity and how people look at you as a person. Uranus rules your 10th house. So we have this massive activation for you Tauruses in all areas of your lives, honestly. But with Uranus being the ruler of your 10th house, in this conjunction with the Sun in your first house, can really talk about changes when it comes to your public status. Maybe some of you are entering a relationship, exiting a relationship. Others of you are maybe changing your career to where you are, completely changing how you're known into the world. Maybe you were an accountant before and now you want to be known as a real estate developer, let's say. And, you are completely changing the way how other people view you, but also your career. The fourth house that the Sun rules talks also about your emotions. So for a lot of you Tauruses, these massive changes might definitely feel very uneasy, because you don't generally like changes. However, they are necessary, very, very necessary for your development. And this wonderful conjunction that's happening in your sign talks about long-term effects of this conjunction. And that is because this conjunction is being sextiled by Saturn at a wider degree, but also by Neptune at a wider degree. which is wonderful for a lot of you Tauruses. Any changes that you might be making during this month and in the beginning of June might have long-term effects into your personality, individuality, your family dynamic, your, parents and just family members that you have. For some of you, into your real estate, but also your career, in your public reputation. Massive changes for a lot of you Tauruses. Now, what these changes are going to be exactly, I can't tell because that depends on your personal chart. But if you have any planets or points around that 23 degree, so I would say especially between 20 to 26 degrees, that you are definitely going to feel this conjunction and these massive changes into your lives. But I wish you the best of luck. I hope that you receive wonderful blessings during this conjunction. And if you liked and resonated with this video, please remember to give it a like and to subscribe. Hello, Gemini suns, moons, and risings. Welcome to your Sun Conjunct Uranus astrology prediction. Please remember that I do Western astrology and tropical zodiac. The conjunction between the Sun and Uranus is happening on May 13 at 3 p.m. Mountain Time, so please make sure to adjust it to your time zone. But it's happening at 23 degrees and 6 minutes in the sign of Taurus. I love this conjunction. The Sun and Uranus meet every year together, but this year is specifically different because this conjunction is activating the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction that happened in April. This conjunction is also being supported by Saturn. It's also being very close to Jupiter. So generally speaking, it's a very positive one. Now for you Geminis, this is happening in your 12th house, which talks about sudden new changes and new beginnings associated with hidden matters, hidden activities that you're doing behind the scenes. This could also talk about a wonderful opportunity for you Geminis to go on an international trip, on a vacation, on a retreat, to where you feel very happy, very comfortable also, because this is the sign of Taurus, and because, as I said, Jupiter is pretty close to this conjunction. The 12th house is also the house of hidden enemies. So for a lot of you Geminis, you may suddenly understand and realize that somebody that you thought as a friend, or as you thought that wanted the best for you, maybe it doesn't turn out to be like that. And so this conjunction can put the spotlight on that individual. For others of you Geminis, the 12th house is the house of either dimension, of the psychic, of self-sabotaging patterns. So this conjunction can talk about a sudden understanding, a sudden realization when it comes to your inner world, your self-sabotaging patterns, to where you understand what you need to address. And with this happening in the 12th house, can talk about an opportunity to heal from these things in the form of a retreat, or just working towards them through meditation, prayer, and other spiritual rituals. The Sun rules your 3rd house, Geminis. So this conjunction can talk about some sudden news, communication associated with hidden things, associated with foreign lands, with acquaintances of people that you have from a distance. The 3rd house is also the house of publishing and writing. So for a lot of you Geminis, if you are in those industries, you may have some sudden downloads associated with your creativity in writing and publishing, in sales also. Uranus rules your 9th house, which is the house of foreign travel. And that's why I see for a lot of you Geminis a sudden opportunity to go on a wonderful vacation and trip. But for others of you, it may also talk about a sudden legal matter that you need to address and work towards, that could be hidden from the public eye, and you kind of do it behind the scenes. The 9th house is also the house of spiritual gurus and mentors. So for a lot of you Geminis, this can talk about revelation you may receive behind the scenes in communication with your spiritual gurus, your astrologers, people that give you advice in general. The 9th house is also the house of spirituality, of belief systems. So this can talk about a sudden opportunity to get a download, a big understanding, a big change, maybe in a more shocking way associated with your belief system and things that you thought to be in a certain way. And for others of you, it can talk about a sudden change when it comes to the way how you approach your spirituality. Now, the ruler of the third house coming together with the ruler of the ninth house in your 12th house can talk about sudden communications associated, again, with spirituality, with legal matters, with spiritual gurus, people that mentor you, but also wonderful opportunities to go on a retreat, on a vacation that could turn out to be quite pleasant, especially, again, with Jupiter being in Taurus, but also the ruler of Taurus, Venus also being in the sign in the 12th house. I think this is a wonderful, wonderful time for you Geminis, especially to retreat, to spend time a bit by yourself. I would just be a bit cautious of overdoing it because, with Venus and Jupiter in the same house can talk about a bit of an overindulgent staying behind the scenes and in isolation. But other than that, I wish you the best, Geminis. Please let me know how things are going for you, and if you liked and resonated with this video, please remember to give it a like and to subscribe. Hello, Cancer suns, moons, and risings. Welcome to your Sun conjunct Uranus astrology prediction. The conjunction between these two planets is happening on May 13 at 3 p.m. Mountain Time, so please make sure to adjust it to your time zone. And it's happening at 23 degrees and 6 minutes in the sign of Taurus. Please keep in mind that I do Western astrology, tropical zodiac. This conjunction for you Cancers is happening in your 11th house, and I just love it so much. The 11th house is generally seen as a positive house. So these two planets coming together can talk about a sudden opportunity for a lot of you Cancers to achieve some type of long-term goal and dream that you've had for the future. The 11th house is also the house of acquaintances and friends. So this conjunction can talk about maybe you being in the spotlight to where you attract friends, you attract people that want to talk to you, that want to socialize with you. For others of you Cancers, you may earn a sudden a spotlight when it comes to your social media and the masses, and that's because the 11th house rules over the masses and also technology. Sun rules your second house, Cancer. So this can talk about a sudden opportunity that you may have to achieve some type of long-term dream and goal associated with your finances, with how much money you're making, and the way how you're making it. The second house also rules over self-confidence. So for a lot of you Cancers, I feel like you are earning your self-confidence when it comes to building your friendships, to approaching people, to connecting with them at a soul level, at an emotional level also. The second house is also the house of talents and skills. So for a lot of you Cancers, you may finally be able to pursue some type of talent that you have, creativity that you have, or you may be able to express it to the masses, to your friends, to the people who know you. Uranus rules your 8th house. So for a lot of you Cancers, this can talk about a long-term dream and goal that can be accomplished or at least put on the spotlight in a sudden way associated with your shared resources and finances that you may have with a person or also with your family members. The 8th house is also the house of self-sabotaging patterns. So for a lot of you Cancers, you may try to heal, or you may need to address some self-sabotaging patterns, and you may do so through the help of your friends, through the help of people that know you. For others of you, if you are in the industry of dealing with other people's money, such as, managing other people's money, like a financial advisor or in insurances or taxes, things like that, this can talk about a sudden opportunity that you may have when it comes to making money out of this industry, of achieving some long-term dream and goal that you may have had associated with it. Or you can talk about earning money through your friends, through your acquaintances also. The ruler of your second house and the ruler of your 8th house, which are money houses, coming together in your 11th house, which is also seen as a financial house, it can talk about sudden, wonderful opportunities for you Cancers to increase your income, to achieve some type of long-term dream goal that you may have had associated with multiple streams of income, of increasing your money, how much money you make, of increasing your cash flow. And I just love this conjunction because it's also activating that Jupiter-Uranus conjunction that we had in April. This conjunction is also being blessed by Jupiter at a wider degree, which talks about expansion. It's also being supported by Saturn at a wider degree, which talks about long-term effects of this change, of this attention that might be put in your 11th house matters. This conjunction is also being supported by Neptune at a wider degree, which can also talk about pleasantness, about joy associated with achieving some type of long-term dream and goal that you may have had, but also can talk about you entering groups of friends and acquaintances and maybe achieving some type of recognition, popularity in social media. This is generally what I have for you, Cancers. I really hope you receive wonderful blessings during this conjunction. And if you liked and resonated with this video, please remember to give it a like and to subscribe. Hello, dear Leo suns, moons, and risings. Welcome to your Sun conjunct Uranus astrology prediction. Please remember that I do Western astrology and tropical zodiac. The conjunction between Sun and Uranus is happening at 23 degrees and 6 minutes in the sign of Taurus on May 13, 2024 at 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So please make sure to adjust it to your time zone. But for you Leos, this is happening in your 10th house. And this talks about sudden wonderful opportunities for you Leos to be in the spotlight. The Sun rules you, so you are probably going to feel this change, this sudden change at the core level, at your identity and who you are as a person, but also in what you are seeing and what you come across as into the world. The conjunction is also triggering the 4th house, which is the house of your family dynamics, of real estate, of your family, of your home, and also the 7th house, which talks about partnerships. So for a lot of you Leos, this Sun conjunct Uranus can talk about sudden wonderful opportunities that will bring changes that are uncomfortable, definitely, but they are also necessary. And for a lot of you, I could see them bringing a turning point into your life. The Sun comes with Uranus together every year, but what is special about this conjunction is that it's activating that Jupiter-Uranus conjunction point that we had in April, which happened at 21 and 22 degrees in the sign of Taurus. Now the conjunction between the Sun and Uranus is happening at 23 degrees, which talks again about wonderful opportunities for a lot of you Leos to reinvent yourself, to show into the world as a different person, as somebody that's very authentic, somebody that's different from the world, from the masses. For a lot of you Leos, this can talk about wonderful sudden opportunities to completely change your career, to go into something where you can express yourself freely, where you can feel more authentic, and that you are very inspired for. This can also talk about you Leos being put in the spotlight in a sudden way, in an unexpected way, to where you shock yourself, you shock other people, you shock your family, your partner also. Something might be happening that just takes you completely out of your comfort zone. And as I said, it might not feel comfortable, but it will be necessary. And the beautiful thing about this conjunction is that it's being sextiled by Saturn, which talks about long-term effects of this necessary change that is happening in your career sector. What I also love about this conjunction is that it's also being sextiled at a wider degree by Neptune, which talks about pleasantness and a wonderful opportunity for you Leos to create and reinvent an image of yourself in the way and in the shape and form that you want to be displayed as, to be shown as. This conjunction is also being conjunct by Jupiter at a wider degree, which talks about expansion, blessings, and reinvention, and also healing when it comes to your career sector and how you want to be known into the world. The ruler of Taurus, Venus, is also in the sign close to this conjunction, which again talks about pleasantness and coming across as attractive, beautiful, and magnetizing. Again, this may not feel comfortable because it's squaring your sign. It's coming from the Taurus sign. However, it's necessary, it's beautiful, it's wonderful, and it will change and flip your life most likely in a very, very profound way. And this effect may not be felt only on this day. It will happen for a long time, for a few weeks, because we have this huge activation in your 10th house of career and public reputation. I hope you receive wonderful blessings, Leos. It's also worth mentioning that Uranus is also the ruler of your 7th house, which again is the house of partnerships. And so you have the Sun, which is you, and then Uranus, which is your partnerships, coming together in your career sector. This talks about life-changing, sudden, wonderful opportunities to start a partnership, being a romantic partnership, a business partnership. A lot of you could even get married in a sudden way, in a way that it shocks others. And if you do so, I think it's just going to be wonderful with Venus and Jupiter also being in Taurus. That just sounds amazing. And, you know, being supported by Saturn at a wider degree, this talks about long-term effects of this partnership that you may start, Leos. But for others of you, you may create some type of agreement, some type of contract that is going to change and alternate your career, but also public reputation and also your status. A lot of you, like I said, could get married, could get in a relationship. Others of you could go from unemployed to starting a job. Others of you can change your career, maybe going from an accountant to a lawyer. Like things that are just completely different, but they take people by surprise, and also you, and also your partner, and also your family members. So massive changes for a lot of you Leos. I'm so excited for you. I hope you receive wonderful blessings, and if you like and resonated with this video, please remember to give it a like and to subscribe. Hello dear Virgos, Virgo Suns, Moons and Risings. Welcome to your Sun conjunct Uranus astrology prediction. This is happening on May 13 at 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, at 23 degrees and 6 minutes in the sign of Taurus. Please remember that I do Western astrology and tropical zodiac. This conjunction for you Virgos is happening at a positive house, which is the 9th house, which in Vedic astrology is known as the house of good karma. So for a lot of you Virgos, you may achieve some reward that's associated with the good deeds and good things you have done in your previous life, but also in your current life previously in your past. You may receive some kind of sudden reward, some kind of blessing that's associated with the things that you've done for other people. For others of you, this conjunction between the Sun and Uranus can talk about the need to address some legal matter. Maybe something illegal will pop up into your life to where you need to put attention to, and it's in your focus. And for others of you, the 9th house is also the house of higher education. Maybe some of you Virgos will have the opportunity to enter or at least get a green light associated with universities, with institutions where you can achieve a higher degree. The 9th house is also the house of visas, of international travels. So for a lot of you Virgos, you may need to address something associated with these matters, or it could be that you have this sudden opportunity to go on an international trip, and or just to have some visa accepted to where you can go on this trip. The 9th house is also the house of mentors and spiritual leaders. So for a lot of you Virgos, you might have this sudden opportunity to meet an authority person who could be converted into somebody very important to you when it comes to advice that they may give you, and to where they can become a spiritual leader and mentor for you. And finally, the 9th house is the house of spirituality and also belief systems, which talks about a sudden aha moment, a sudden download, a sudden understanding that could alter the way how you think about a certain thing or your belief systems in general. A lot of you Virgos may have the opportunity to start some type of routine when it comes to your spirituality that just changes your life for the better. And that's because Uranus is the ruler of your 6th house, which is the house of daily routines. So for a lot of you Virgos, you may have the sudden need to change something in your daily routines, in your daily life, when it comes to your spirituality, maybe meditation, yoga, prayer, attending church, things like that, that could benefit you for the better. And I say benefit you for the better because the 9th house is generally seen as a positive house, but also this conjunction between Sun and Uranus is activating that Jupiter-Uranus conjunction that we had in April. This conjunction is also being supported at a wider degree by Saturn, which talks about long-term effects of this positive opportunity that you may have related to your ninth house matters. And Jupiter is also somewhat conjunct this conjunction by 4 degrees. It's 4 degrees away. And we also have Venus also in the sign of Taurus. So, and Venus and Jupiter are both in the sign of Taurus. And then we have this conjunction, again in the sign of Taurus, being supported by Saturn, but also by Neptune at a wider degree, talks to me about some positivity, some wonderful things that could happen in your life, Virgos, associated with higher education, legal matters, but also it's worth mentioning also hidden projects that you may do, because the Sun rules your 12th house, and that's the house of hidden things, some project that you may be doing behind the scenes that could be tied to legal matters, foreign travels, to visas. You might get something positive, something sudden associated with it that takes you by surprise, but opens the doors and opportunities for you to take it to another step, or to take it further. The 12th house is also the house of hidden enemies. So for some of you Virgos, you may have some kind of opportunity to address some legal matter when it comes to an enemy that you may have, a hidden enemy, but it could be that this could come more on a positive way for you. The 12th house, again, is the house of foreign travel. So for a lot of you Virgos, I see wonderful opportunities to get some good news associated with visas, associated with foreign travels, maybe relocating somewhere foreign, maybe getting a job somewhere foreign, or having a job with foreign languages also, or just dealing with people of a different background, of a foreign background. But I hope that you have wonderful opportunities during this conjunction, Virgos. And if you liked and resonated with this video, please remember to give it a like and to subscribe. Hello Libra suns, moons, and risings. Welcome to your Sun Conjunct Uranus astrology prediction. The conjunction is happening on May 13 at 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, so please make sure to adjust it to your time zone. But it's happening at 23 degrees and 6 minutes in the sign of Taurus. Please remember that I do Western astrology and tropical zodiac. For you Libras, this conjunction is happening in your 8th house, which is the house of shared resources, shared finances, investments, other people's money, and also self-sabotaging patterns and psychology. For a lot of you Libras, you may have some sudden opportunity or some sudden event or circumstance that makes you address some issues related to your shared finances and resources. For a lot of you, you may even have a sudden increase in your finances. For others of you Libras, the 8th house, as I mentioned, rules the self-sabotaging patterns and psychology. So for a lot of you, you may have sudden downloads, sudden understandings when it comes to issues related to your psychological side of things, how you talk to yourself, how you view the world in general, and you may get and receive some type of understanding associated with it. The 8th house is also the house of other people's money, so for a lot of you Libras, you may have some sudden opportunity for a financial windfall when it comes to investing through other people's money, but also through shared resources that you may have with a partner or with your family members. The Sun naturally rules your 11th house, Libras. So for a lot of you, this may talk about a long-term goal and dream that you may have had for the future that you need to make some type of transformation for in order to achieve some type of accomplishment, especially when it comes within yourself and also when it comes to your psychology and self-sabotaging patterns. The 11th house, which is the house that is ruled by your Sun, is also a financial house. And the 8th house, where it's sitting on during this conjunction, is also a financial house. So for a lot of you Libras, I see wonderful opportunities for an increase when it comes to your shared resources, your shared finances, especially the ones that you have shared with your partner and also your family members. Uranus rules your 5th house, which is also a financial house. So again, Libras, I do see that theme when it comes to some type of financial change that you need to make or that happens. that you need to make some type of transformation when it comes to it, or transformation within yourself in order to achieve this kind of financial windfall that you may experience. The fifth house is also the house of children. So for a lot of you Libras, you may need to address some type of psychological issue that your child may expose during this time, may express during this time. That could be sudden, but it might most likely have a positive effect. The eighth house does not have a good reputation. However, this conjunction is being sextiled at a wider degree by Saturn, which talks about positive long effects of this conjunction into your life. This is also being sextiled by Neptune at a wider degree, which also talks about positivity and seeing things in a more positive way. This conjunction is also next to Jupiter at a wider degree, and also next to Venus, which is the planet that rules Taurus, where this conjunction is happening at. So for a lot of you Libras, I feel like you may have some type of change when it comes to your shared finances, your resources, that is more on the positive side, that makes you happy, that makes you fulfill maybe some type of long-term dream and goal that you may have had. And for others of you, it's also worth mentioning that you may address some self-sabotaging pattern when it comes to the way how you approach your friends, your groups of friends, your social circles, but also your social media groups. This conjunction, I feel like it might bring some positive changes when it comes to transformation within yourself, because the eighth house rules transformation. For a lot of you Libras, you may remove from your life completely an old version of you that is not authentic, and you may embrace during this time, during this conjunction, somebody different when it comes to yourself, to your self-identity, and who you want to be as a person and what you want to be known to the world. With an eighth house heavy activation, it may talk about massive transformation that you're doing, Libras, especially with the nodes being in your sun, in your opposite sign. It can talk about transformation that you are trying to make, that you are trying to do, or for some of you that you are forced to make in order to complete your life mission and understand and learn all the lessons that you are meant to understand during this time. But overall, this conjunction should be a pleasant one, should be something that may bring some positive changes that are not comfortable, of course, because the energy is very concentrated and it's in the eighth house. However, the odds are that you may experience some positivity into your life. And Venus, as I mentioned, is also in Taurus, and it's also your ruler. So these changes could come from you. You may be the initiator of a lot of changes when it comes to shared resources and finances, investments, taxes, insurance, dealing with other people's money, but also transformation within yourself. This is what I have for you Libras. If you liked and resonated with this video, please remember to give it a like and to subscribe. Hello Scorpio suns, moons, and risings. Welcome to your Sun conjunct Uranus astrology prediction. Please remember that I'm a Western astrologer and I follow tropical zodiac. The conjunction between Sun and Uranus is happening on May 13 at 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, so please make sure to adjust it to your time zone, but it's happening at 23 degrees and 6 minutes in the sign of Taurus, which is in your 7th house. For a lot of you Scorpios, you may have some wonderful sudden opportunities to enter some partnership. This conjunction might bring your attention and focus when it comes to your partnerships, be it romantic or business partners. For others of you Scorpios, it could be that your partner is in the spotlight in a sudden way, in a shocking way, that you or the partner or your family members were not expecting it. This conjunction activates that Jupiter-Uranus conjunction that we had in April, which happened at 21 and 22 degrees of Uranus. Whereas the conjunction between the Sun and Uranus is happening at 23 degrees, which talks again about sudden opportunities, sudden expansion, sudden open doors and windows. So when it comes to you entering partnerships that you have always wanted to make drastic changes into your life. And I say drastic changes because the Sun naturally rules your 10th house. And the 10th house is the house of career, public reputation, what we are known into the world. The 10th house ruler being in the 7th house can talk about some sudden career changes, especially for your partner, or it could be that you are making some type of career change that brings the opportunity to create a partnership with somebody, maybe to create a business together, maybe to enter an agreement, a contract. Uranus rules your fourth house, which talks about also changes in your family environment and dynamics. And with this conjunction happening at an angular house, I bet it's going to affect you at a personal level, Scorpios. And with the ruler of the fourth house being in your seventh house, it can talk about entering maybe a partnership with a family member, or your family members just being supportive of you entering some type of partnership. For others of you, Scorpios, you might just get married during this time. You might enter a relationship with somebody, become boyfriend and girlfriend. You might also maybe get engaged. You might change your status during this conjunction. This conjunction could also just bring your attention into some kind of liberation that you need to make related to a partnership, related to an agreement, to a contract, that you just don't want it in your life anymore. And that is because Uranus is the planet of liberation. This conjunction can also talk about some type of rebellion that you need to make related to a current partnership that you have, that you maybe want to change things up to where they are more authentic, to where you can express yourself more freely, and you can just be yourself around the other person. And again, that is because this conjunction is happening in your seventh house, which is also triggering your first house of identity, personality, and what you identify with as a person. Overall, I feel like for a lot of you Scorpios, you may experience some sudden changes with this stellium that we have at Taurus, not only with this conjunction, but also with Venus and Jupiter, that we also have in the sign of Taurus, that are basically expanding things, but also making them make sense, make them a bit more pleasant. Obviously, this energy is not easy. It's happening in an earth sign that does not like changes at all, but these changes are necessary, and especially for you Scorpios, because it's happening at an angular house, and all the planets that rule your 4th, your 10th, are activated. That is very, very important. Please let me know in the comments how things are going for you. Are you experiencing any changes? Please let me know. I always read the comments. But this is what I have for you, Scorpios, for this conjunction. If you liked and resonated with this video, please remember to give it a like and to subscribe. Hello, Sagittarius suns, moons, and risings. Welcome to your Sun conjunct Uranus astrology prediction. Please remember that I am a Western astrologer and I do tropical zodiac. The conjunction between the Sun and Uranus is happening on May 13 at 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, so please make sure to adjust it to your time zone, but it's happening at 23 degrees and 6 minutes in the sign of Taurus. For you Sagittarius, this is happening in your 6th house, which talks about a sudden change that you may have to make when it comes to your daily routines and things that you do in your daily basis. And this could be about driving around, going to work, anything that you have in your routine. This conjunction is definitely going to bring some sudden changes associated with it. Is that going to be that comfortable? Probably not. However, these changes are very important for you. For others of you Sagittarius, the 6th house represents your physical health. So for a lot of you, I see a sudden opportunity to change your diet and change your workout routines in a way that it benefits your physical body. With the Sun being in conjunction to Uranus, it can simply talk about something happening maybe in your physical body to where your attention is drawn into it and you have to make some sudden drastic change associated with it. The 6th house is also the house of your job, of your day-to-day job. So for a lot of you Sagittarius, there could be some focus in some particular project that you need to make necessary changes to. Or it could be that some work environment dynamics suddenly change and now you have to adjust to them. The Sun naturally rules your 9th house. So for a lot of you Sagittarius, this can talk about you changing your belief system when it comes to your diet, to your physical health, to your workout routines, to foods, to different nutrition that you take, or changing your belief system when it comes to your daily practices. Maybe you want to have a more of a balanced lifestyle to where you feel more comfortable, more pleasant, more joyful, and why not more attractive. And that is because during this conjunction, Venus is also in the sign of Taurus, and also Jupiter is in the sign of Taurus, and it's pretty close to this conjunction, only 4 degrees away, which can talk about the need and the want for a lot of you Sagittarius to adjust your daily routines and your day-to-day life in a way that you feel, again, more comfortable, happier, more joyful, to where you can kind of enjoy life as well. It's important to notice that this conjunction is being somewhat supported by Saturn at a wider degree, which talks about long-term effects if you plan to make any drastic changes, sudden changes associated with your 6th house matters. This conjunction is also being supported by Neptune, again at a wider degree, which talks about pleasantness, maybe some confusion here and there, but given that this is a sextile, I feel like it's more on the positive side, to where you want to feel more blissful, happier, more joyful, and you want to adjust your daily routines, your day-to-day life in a more positive way. For others of you, it could be that your work environment again is changing in a drastic way. However, the effects of these changes could again be for a long time, given that Saturn is also supporting this conjunction. Another important thing about this conjunction between Sun and Uranus is that it's activating that Jupiter-Uranus conjunction we had in April, which happened at 21 and 22 degrees in the sign of Taurus. This one is happening at 23 degrees, so just 1 degree further. But this really activates whatever was happening in April for you. And this talks about sudden changes again, expansion when it comes to even healing from some type of sickness. Maybe you understand something that you need to change in your diet, in your health, in your daily routines that could improve your physical body and make you feel happier. Others of you Sagittarius may have a sudden need to serve other people, to take care of them, and you may, be called by somebody to just go and help them out. Uranus rules your 3rd house, so this could talk about some kind of, again, news, maybe in your job, something that you learn about, doing research work associated with your physical health, or simply being very busy, because the 3rd house is the house of short distance travel, and then the 6th house is daily routines. So it can just talk about you having to just be on the road all the time and running errands, just doing things, solving things in a sudden way to where you weren't really expecting it. But overall, Sagittarius, I feel like this conjunction is more on the positive side of things. I hope that you receive some wonderful blessings, and please let me know how things are going for you. But if you liked and resonated with this video, please remember to give it a like and to subscribe. Hello Capricorn, Suns, Moons, and Risings. Welcome to your Sun conjunct Uranus astrology prediction. Please keep in mind that I'm a Western astrologer and I follow tropical zodiac. The conjunction between the Sun and Uranus is happening on May 13 at 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, so please make sure to adjust it to your time zone. But it's happening at 23 degrees and 6 minutes in the sign of Taurus, which is another fellow Earth sign. This is happening exactly in your 5th house, Capricorns, which is generally seen as a positive house. For a lot of you, you may have sudden opportunities to make some money through luck, through gambling, through stock market, through maybe betting, sports betting, anything that is associated with winning by luck. For others of you, this can talk about a sudden need to address some problem that one of your children may have, if you have kids, or that you just need to spend more time with them in a surprising way to where you weren't really expecting it, or they were not expecting it either. The 5th house is the house of creativity and artistic abilities, So for a lot of you Capricorns, you may have sudden downloads when it comes to your creativity. Maybe you're going to suddenly change the way how you come about your creative endeavors. Maybe you want to express them more into the world, into your friends, into social media also. This may also talk about you expressing your artistic abilities and putting them out there again for the world to see. The 5th house is generally seen as the house of fun, of entertainment. So for a lot of you Capricorns, you might just have a sudden opportunity to just have fun, to spend time with other people, to entertain yourself and let loose a little bit, although that's not very natural of you Capricorns. But this conjunction between the Sun and Uranus can talk about some type of rebellion when it comes to having fun and entertaining yourself and maybe drinking a little bit, and just enjoying your life. The Sun naturally rules your 8th house, Capricorn. So this may talk about you addressing some self-sabotaging patterns, some negative thinking that you may have, and transform yourself in a way to where you enjoy life more and you rebel a little bit also against, too many rules, which again is not very natural of you. But this is the beauty of this conjunction, of this energy, that it's going to take a lot of people by surprise, whatever you do in this department of your life. The Sun, as I mentioned, rules your 8th house that deals with other people's money. So again, a lot of opportunity to win in the stock market. Obviously, that depends on your personal chart, so make sure to double check with that. But for a lot of you, you may earn through investing on other people's money, on investments in general, or also through shared resources if you happen to use them to develop your creative abilities, artistic abilities also, and somehow use those shared resources to just develop them even more. Uranus rules your 2nd house. So again, I feel like there's a strong connection here with finances. For a lot of you Capricorns, you may spend your personal money, your shared resources also to develop your skills, your talents, your creative and artistic abilities. Or for others of you, you may just spend your shared resources and your personal finances with a partner to be able to have more fun, to entertain, again, to let loose a little bit and just enjoy life. For others of you Capricorns, you may have the sudden need to help one of your children with finances. And you might take finances from, your own pocket or your partners to be able to help your children. The 2nd house is also the house of self-worth. So for a lot of you Capricorns, I see more self-confidence when it comes to expressing, again, your creativity and also your artistic abilities. The beauty of this conjunction is that it's reactivating that Jupiter-Uranus conjunction we had in April, which happened at 21 and 22 degrees in the sign of Taurus, whereas this conjunction is happening at 23 degrees. So for a lot of you Capricorns, there is a strong attention into 5th house matters, which talks again about having fun, getting to spend more time doing creative things, and expressing yourself through your art, through artistic pursuits that you may have. And also you may have a sudden opportunity to spend time with your children. For a few of you Capricorns, you may even have a child added to your family. What I really like about this conjunction is that it is being supported by Saturn at a wider degree, by Neptune at a wider degree, which talks about long-term effects of this conjunction, but also bliss and happiness associated with it. Jupiter is also somewhat conjunct this conjunction, this triple conjunction. It's only 4 degrees away, which talks again about expansion, and I do see a lot of you Capricorns really having children during this time. And I wouldn't say exactly on this day, of course. It might take a few weeks for this to unfold, but I feel like for a lot of you, you may have a child added to your family. Venus also is going to be in Taurus during this conjunction, which talks about feeling joyful, pleasantness, feeling comfortable in expressing yourself in your creative abilities, and artistic endeavors, and just enjoying life in general. I really like this for you, Capricorns, and especially because it is in a good aspect to your sign, also to your ascendant. But this is what I have for you. Please let me know how things are going, and if you liked and resonated with this video, please remember to give it a like and to subscribe. Aquarius suns, moons, and risings, welcome to your Sun conjunct Uranus astrology prediction. Please remember I'm a Western astrologer and I follow tropical zodiac. The conjunction between these two planets is happening on May 13 at 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, so please make sure to adjust it to your time zone. But it's happening at 23 degrees and 6 minutes in the sign of Taurus in your 4th house. Aquariuses, I feel like a lot of you are going to have massive, drastic changes to your home environment, to your real estate, maybe to your apartment and your house. For a lot of you Aquariuses, I feel like you're going to change homes, you're going to relocate, even change cities, countries, states. I feel like for a lot of you, you're just going to have massive changes associated with your 4th house. And if you don't feel it yet, I think you still will, because this conjunction is also happening at an angular house, which talks about active changes to your personality, to your partnerships, to your career and public reputation. I feel like a lot of you are just going to have this new life, this reinvention made to yourselves. It's also worth mentioning that the Sun naturally rules your 7th house and Uranus rules you. So massive changes for you Aquariuses. You might have some kind of download when it comes to changes you need to make in your personality, in your physical body, in the way how you look and the way how you identify. And for others of you, you may have a sudden separation from a partner that maybe is not benefiting you in some way. Or for others of you, you may have some fresh start with the current partner, with somebody that you already have, that lets you express yourself more freely, more authentically, and you feel like you are yourself. And with Uranus being involved here, I feel like for a lot of you Aquariuses, you might be the initiator of a lot of changes related to your partnerships. As I mentioned, this conjunction triggers also your 10th house, which is the house of career and public reputation. A lot of you Aquariuses are going to change your status during this conjunction, during this entire month, because we have one conjunction after the other, and I think you're going to have some massive changes also in your status, going from single to married, from engaged to married, from married to maybe divorced for a few of you. But these changes are very necessary for your progress, and that is because this conjunction is being somewhat supported by Saturn at a wider degree, and also by Neptune at a wider degree, which talks about long-term effects associated with these changes, but also some kind of hopefulness and positivity associated with it. This conjunction is also being touched by Jupiter, which is 4 degrees away, and also somewhat by Venus, which is also in the same house. I think a lot of you are going to have some type of expansion when it comes to your home environment, maybe getting a bigger house, a bigger apartment, or others of you may have positive news related to legal matters associated with getting a new place and finding a new house to live in. Others of you may have a family member joining you in your home environment, or somebody leaving also. Overall, I feel like this energy is not going to be easy because you are a fixed sign, and this is happening at a fellow fixed sign, which is in a square tense aspect to you. However, it's going to be necessary, and I think it's going to feel pleasant in the long run. And again, that is because of that support with Saturn, which is the longevity planet. Venus will be at 17 degrees at this time, and Saturn will also be at 17 degrees, and they will connect in a beautiful sextile together, which talks about getting a beautiful house, having somebody pleasant join you in your family, maybe learning pleasant stories and things related to your ancestry, to people that came before you, or even spending time in your hometown, in your home country, if you live far away from there, to where you feel very pleasant, very joyful, and you might just spend a good time over there. But generally speaking, I feel like this conjunction has a positive annotation to it. It's just that it could feel a bit uncomfortable given that it's in an earth sign and on a fixed sign. But this is what I have for you, Aquariuses. I really hope you receive wonderful blessings during this month. Please let me know how things are going for you. And if you liked and resonated with this video, please remember to give it a like and to subscribe. Hello, Pisces, Suns, Moons, and Risings. Welcome to your Sun Conjunct Uranus astrology prediction. Please keep in mind that I'm a Western astrologer and I follow tropical zodiac. The conjunction between the Sun and Uranus is happening on May 13 at 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So please make sure to adjust it to your time zone. But it's happening at 23 degrees and 6 minutes in the sign of Taurus, which is an earth sign, which means that is positively affecting you, Pisces. The conjunction is happening exactly in the third house, which talks about sudden opportunity to buy maybe a new car. For a lot of you, Pisces, I feel like you are adding a new vehicle to your, set of vehicles that you may have. For others of you, this may talk about sudden changes of events and circumstances in your life to where you are more on the road, to where you have to drive around and run errands and have some kind of change when it comes to your daily routines and how you go about your day-to-day life. The third house is also the house of your thought processes. So for a lot of you, Pisces, you may have a sudden understanding, especially associated with your physical health, with your daily routines, and also your day-to-day job. And that is because the Sun naturally rules your sixth house, which is the house of what I mentioned, your physical health, your day-to-day routine, your co-workers, your job. So for a lot of you, Pisces, you might have even some sudden news associated with your job to where there are some changes and you kind of need to adjust to them. For others of you, you may have some type of download and understanding in your thought process when it comes to your diet, your workout routine, and how you go about your physical health. Uranus rules your 12th house, which is the house of hidden things. So for a lot of you, Pisces, you may communicate to the world something you've kept hidden during this conjunction that has been brewing kind of in the background, but now you feel more comfortable sharing with the world. For others of you, the 12th house is the house of foreign lands, and for some of you, you may just give some type of communication, let the world know about something, about some trip, some vacation, some retreat you may be doing or that you may have done in the past, to where it shocks people, it takes them by surprise somehow. For others of you, Pisces, you may have differences and changes in your thought process when it comes to your spirituality, when it comes to your daily routines associated with spirituality, such as meditation, yoga, prayer, things like that you have to make changes towards in order to kind of grow within it. But you may have these downloads in a sudden way to where you really are not expecting it. What's important about this conjunction is that it's being supported by Saturn in a wider degree. And Saturn is sitting in your first house, which talks about long-term effects in the way how you identify, in the way how you think about yourself and how you come across to other people. This conjunction is also being sextiled by Neptune, again at a wider degree, which talks about feeling a bit playful and joyful in the way how you communicate with other people and kind of using softer words when it comes to sharing anything that you want to share. And for others of you, you can talk about a more positive way in the way how you talk to yourself, in your thought process and your thinking. If you are in writing, in publishing, in sales, you may have a wonderful opportunity to expand yourself, to expand your business, especially if creativity is involved in there with this sextile from Neptune. It's also worth mentioning that this conjunction is reactivating that Jupiter-Uranus conjunction we had in April, which again talks about expansion in all third house matters. You know, again, in your thought processes, in maybe buying a vehicle, maybe being on the road more, and being able to communicate with other people more often. Maybe you are just going to socialize a bit more also. This conjunction has right next to it Jupiter, only 4 degrees away, which talks about the expansion. And please check out my my Jupiter-Uranus conjunction videos that I talk in depth about that conjunction, which will be reactivated with this conjunction, but also reactivated through multiple other ones that we have coming. We have Venus that is going to make a conjunction close to that degree, and then Mercury, and then later on we're going to have Mars. But generally speaking, I feel like this is going to be a wonderful time for a lot of you Pisces, associated with all your third house matters. I really hope you're going to receive wonderful blessings. And please let me know how things are going for you. But if you liked and resonated with this video, please remember to give it a like and to subscribe.